The Titanic tragedy left a deep scar in the hearts of many. The sinking of the legendary ship remains a somber reminder of the fragility of life. As the 100th anniversary of the Titanic's sinking approaches, many are reflecting on the tragedy and the time remaining until its impact is lost to history. On April 15, 1912, the unthinkable happened. The Titanic collided with an iceberg and began its descent into the ocean. As passengers rushed to the lifeboats to escape the imminent sinking, an estimated 1,500 people were left behind aboard the Titanic, their fate sealed. Time was of the essence, but the Titanic crew was incredibly unprepared for the tragedy. With inadequate amounts of lifeboats, the crew was unable to save everyone. Many were left behind to drown as the ship sank deeper into the depths of the ocean. As time passes, the memory of the Titanic tragedy slowly fades away. Many of those who remember the events of that day are now gone, and with them go the stories of those who perished. The last living survivors of the Titanic tragedy have since passed away, their stories and experiences forever lost to time. With each passing day, the memory of what happened aboard the Titanic continues to recede. As the remaining time before the Titanic's 100th anniversary ticks down, more of the tragedy is forgotten. While the memory of the event will remain with some, for many others, the Titanic's history will quickly become another tale. With the passing of time, the Titanic becomes less of a reality and more of a ghost memory. Many of the survivors, passengers, and crew who experienced the tragedy are now all but forgotten, their stories unable to be passed down. For those whose lives were affected by the sinking of the Titanic, there is only a sense of sorrow that the tragedy ever occurred. The remaining time for the Titanic's anniversary is a somber reminder of the lives that were lost and the tragedy that occurred on that fateful day. For those who feel the tragedy of the Titanic, the remaining time until its 100th anniversary serves as a reminder to never forget those who perished aboard the ship. Although the impact of the Titanic may diminish with the passing of time, its memory and lessons can never be forgotten. The remaining time before the Titanic's 100th anniversary is a reminder of the lessons it has left in its wake. The fragility of life, the importance of preparedness, and the courage of those who faced its tragedy are all reminders of the power of the Titanic. As the anniversary of the Titanic's sinking approaches, more of the tragedy is being forgotten. Although some memories remain, the remaining time before its anniversary is a reminder of how quickly life can change and how easily time can erase its impact. With each day that passes, the memories of the Titanic tragedy slowly slip away. As the remaining time passes, the Titanic's impact is fading as its story begins to become an old tale. As the Titanic's 100th anniversary approaches, its tragedy and its heroes are slowly becoming forgotten. With each passing day, the remaining time until its anniversary is taking its impact further and further from memory and leaving only the ghost of what once was. In the remaining time until the Titanic's 100th anniversary, those affected by its tragedy are remembering the lives taken away, the courage of the survivors, and the impact it has had on them. They are also reminded of the dangers of complacency and the need to stay prepared at all times. Those who experienced the tragedy aboard the Titanic were forever changed by it. As the anniversary of its sinking draws closer, and the remaining time until its 100th anniversary quickly passes, their stories and the lessons of the Titanic will never fully be forgotten. As the anniversaries pass with each coming year, more of the Titanic tragedy is slipping away into the past. Although it may become less of a distant reality, the remaining time before the Titanic's 100th anniversary serves as a reminder of the tragedy that has been lost. In the remaining time until the Titanic's 100th anniversary, more of the story of the sinking of the ship begins to be forgotten. As the reality of the tragedy becomes further and further away from memory, only the darkest of its tales remain with those who experienced it. For those affected by the tragedy of the Titanic, the remaining time until its anniversary serves as a reminder of its impact and the stories of those who perished aboard it. The memory of what occurred and the courage of survivors live on as a testimony to its power. With the passing of time, the truth of the Titanic's tragedy and the stories of those who were left behind slowly slip away. As the remaining time until its anniversary shortens, these memories become more abstract and distant. The remaining time until the Titanic's 100th anniversary continues to serve as a reminder of how quickly tragedy can come to pass and how easily it can be forgotten. As the anniversary draws ever closer, the future of its memory is uncertain. As the Titanic tragedy is becoming more of a distant memory, the remaining time until its 100th anniversary serves as a reminder of how quickly tragedy can be overlooked. Those affected by the disaster are holding on to the memories of what occurred, no matter how faint or far away they have become. For those who experienced the tragedy of the Titanic, there is only the remaining time until its 100th anniversary to connect them to the event. As the memory of what occurred fades away, the tragedy of the ship slowly fades into the past and is being forgotten. The remaining time until the Titanic's 100th anniversary serves as a reminder of how devastating the disaster was and how quickly tragedy can occur. Still, as the days pass, the memory of its tragedy gradually recedes away from memory. As the remaining time until the Titanic's 100th anniversary quickly passes, more of the stories and lessons of the disaster become lost. Although the tragedy of the sinking of the Titanic will always be remembered, the remaining time is quickly taking its impact further and further away. The power of the Titanic tragedy is slowly fading away with time. With each passing day, the remaining time until its 100th anniversary serves as a reminder that although the event may become less real, its impact will never be fully forgotten.